All right, guys, welcome back to Snapshot Podcast. We are excited to have an iconic guest,
Lamark Cole.
Lamark Cole. Tell us about yourself, Lamark. How did you... Actually, quick introduction, yeah.
Okay.
Little introduction.
Well, my name is Lamark Cole. I was born in Chicago, Illinois, but raised in Jackson, Tennessee, where I received like my bachelor's, and I grew up there. And so I'm kind of like I would say, a Southern gentleman, but with a little bit more flair with it, you know.
Always the flair.
Always the flair,
Always.
you know. You gotta have the flair. If you don't have the flair, like, what's the identity, you know?
So that flair has been there forever.
Yes,
huh?
it's been there forever. I originally wanted to go to school for fashion, but I had one of those down south moms, and she was like, "No, you're going to go to school for business. After you get your business degree, then you do whatever the hell you want to do." And so I did that, graduated, and then I moved down here to Phoenix with my guy. And I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted to do something in fashion.
Yeah.
And so I went through almost everything. I went to photography, and that was like too fucking technical. I was like, oh, hell no, I can't do this. And then I started styling, and styling was good. You know, me and my guy and two of our friends that we met down here, we did like this photo shoot for this girl. She was in a competition. And I did the clothes. And one of the girl did the hair, Mo did the makeup, Tyra did the hair, and Ray did the makeup. And so it just kind of like it started right there, and then we looked and we were talking. It was like, this is something. Like, you know, I don't know what it is, but it's something. So we named ourselves Something Unique Productions. And then we went off and we did like the Phoenix Fashion Week stuff, won all those competitions. And then we were like, okay, it's time to break into our own shit and like really get the ball moving on it. So it's kind of how I got started.
Yeah.
And then I started sewing because like this right here, you cannot find this in the store. You can't find this anywhere. You know what I'm saying? So I said, it was a girl that reached out to me. Her name was Keisha Stillwell, and she had been hitting me up, like trying to talk to me, like to work together and do things together. And I was just like, I don't know about this girl. And then one of my other good friends, they was like, you need to talk to her. She is a designer, and she can teach you ways around a sewing machine. And she had already, I ended up reaching out to her, and she had already said, like, I love your stuff. You know, you already have the creativity. You just need to learn the ways around the sewing machine. And so she had came over and taught me the ways of sewing machine, and then I took off from there. Okay. And I always say I went to YouTube University because that's where I learned the rest of us are. Yeah. So that pretty much sums it up for me how I got started, you know.
How long have you been making clothes for? Like, when did that actually start when you wanted that?
That started, I would say, 2024. I would say 2021.
Wow.
That's when it got started.
Yeah.
So that's probably like 4 or 5 years, I think.
So what were you doing before that? Like,
oh my
before getting
God,
into
I was
fashion?
hopping from job to job to job. I was the worst because I couldn't get up on time. I came in late all the time. You know, when it's something that's not your passion, you have like an attitude for no reason. You know,
hating life a little bit. Yeah, like, this is not where I should be.
It just didn't feel right, you know. So I was doing prior authorization, which pretty much if you go to the hospital and you get like a procedure or something done, I was the one who would approve that procedure throughout the process, because it's like a little process. You got to ask some questions and stuff. And then my last job, I was working at Vanguard, where I handled like investments, EFTs, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, that was pretty cool. I ended up getting fired from there too.
Yeah, Vanguard's a pretty big company though. Like to get in there,
it was, and I really liked that job because, well, I didn't like it for the like working for somebody. I liked it because I was learning different things as far as in how to set up my future, how to set up, you know, the retirement plans and what things to invest in. Because when you talk to other people, you could on the phone, you could see what they're investing in and how much money they're making and what time frame that they made this investment and where it is now. So I was learning a lot of stuff. So I really loved that job. But, you know, some stuff happened with my mom. And
did that help you out a lot, though, from learning all that to what you're doing today? Did that job help you out?
Absolutely. Even talking with friends, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times we don't grow up getting that information. The information is kind of on the other side of the fence, you know what I'm saying, where it's like trickle down to the family. You know, once someone passes, it just follows throughout the family and they know what to do. I'll speak for myself. I wasn't ever told, hey, go get a retirement plan, invest your money instead of putting it in the bank, putting it in the savings. You need to be investing in these mutual funds where, you know, these companies are not going to go down. You know what I'm saying? You need to be in these companies and putting your money and letting your money work while you sleep. Now I know that I can tell my friends and I can do that for myself as well, you know. So
Yeah.
Absolutely, it definitely helped for sure.
Yeah, that's what I always think is like if you're in like a regular job or something like that, a lot of people don't see the bigger picture of working at those jobs because like these people have everything made, like they already have everything made. So if like you're working for them, you learn their process and you learn all that. And then when you venture off on your own, you're like, you know most of the steps already.
Absolutely, because there's been plenty of times where I had a big chunk of money and I just fucked it off. Like, I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I just fucked it off, and then I go back. Yes, buying dumb shit at the bar, spending. Don't get me started.
Yeah, you're like, I got the money.
Yeah,
I'm gonna pay that. Buy that.
Yeah. So now I've learned my lesson. I like to call it starting over with experience.
Yeah.
You know, so when I do things now, I'm really intentional what I do and what I'm a part of.
Yeah.
I feel that's part of the process too. As you grow and develop everything you're doing, it becomes more intentional, more strategic. Early on, we're just like, we'll see what works.
Yeah, no, it's like throwing spaghetti at the wall and seeing if it's gonna stick type situations, you know. And sometimes you have to go through those learning pains because if you don't know what to do when this comes back around again, or you're just moving in the same circle. And I hate moving in the same circle. I like to have some type of progression going on in my life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So what was that first step that you took to get into the fashion zone and do everything in fashion? What was that?
So the very first one, I told you about when we did the little competition thing, but that wasn't our thing. And so me and my guy, he's a makeup artist, and now he's a hairstylist as well. He had this idea, him and his friend was talking about an idea of doing an event called Makeup and Mimosas.
Oh, nice.
And so you just got to tell me an idea, and like I always say, your idea with my twist, and I'm taking it and I'm going to run with it. And so I'm having all these things together, you know, I'm planning everything, getting everybody to, you know, whatever. And so I come home from work one day, and he's like almost in like tears almost. And I'm like, what is going on? What's wrong with you? And he's like, he shows me a flyer and it says Makeup and Mimosas, because he had went to this photo shoot, and so y'all listen, don't be telling your business until you got it like the day away from the business. Don't tell nobody your business unless they are part of your group and gonna be working with you. But anyway, he goes to this photo shoot and he was talking to some other makeup artists about it, and they pretty much stole the idea.
Oh, I hate that in the industry. Yeah.
But I'm Lamark Cole, so they did all the hard work for me, by the way. So I changed the name to Makeup and Martinis. And I put my event a day before their event. I went down their list with all of the people they invited, and everyone who said they were going, and I DM'd them personally. It was like 500 people, and 500 people didn't show up, but I was like on a mission. I'm just like
on it.
Copy paste. And so and then we also we offered a discount, and it was like our first event. So it was I really didn't think that many people was gonna show up. I thought it was gonna be like maybe 35, 40, but like 200 some people showed up to the event. And we had this at our apartment complex. You know those luxury apartments, and you have like that luxury part where you just like, you know, you come in, it's all pretty and shit. You know what I'm talking
outdoor
about. And it was
like a
inside
lobby area?
the lobby area.
Yeah.
One of those apartments. It was Elevations at the time on Central. And it was such an amazing turnout. I mean, that kind of solidified us right there. And that kind of gave me the confidence that I can lead with my team to do something amazing on our own. No one's help, just taking our passions and our influences to get our name out there, because we weren't known. And then another thing was nobody was knocking at the door. And so I figured if no one's going to knock at the door, I'm going to create my own goddamn door, and I'll open it, you know what I'm saying, and close that motherfucker when I want to.
Oh, yeah.
So that's how I got started. That was our first thing we got in, and then everybody's kind of like, okay, I see this group. It was an all-black group, and we still get together when we want to do some things. Yeah. But it was an all-black group, and we were doing fabulous work, you know. And then after that, that's when Phoenix Fashion Week came in. And I hit Brian up, and I was like, I want to do the print challenge, and I want to do the video challenge. I don't need anything from you guys. Just give me the opportunity. And so what I did, I'm a people person. I'm a networker. So I'm going to go out. I'm going to go out, talk, and let them know what I'm doing. And so I ended up hitting up this Wrigley Mansion. I told them what we were doing, where we were at on budget and things like that, and they pretty much was just like, I'm down for it. I'll give you a discount. This is how much this is going to be. And then I went to this place called Mardi Gras Costumes. And so my concept was I wanted to do, I don't know if you guys watched the show Rain. It's pretty much one of those old English shows.
It's like the
Renaissance.
top, yeah.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
yes. So I named the concept Empire of Powerless Control. And we did like this dope, like Elizabeth hair, the dresses, Mardi Gras costume shop had all the costumes that fit that concept.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know it was going to be that explosive. And things just started working. Videographer guy, he came to me. He said, "I really want to shoot this. Please, please, please let me shoot this." I was like, "Okay, let me talk to Brian." Brian gave it the okay. And it was just magical. When I tell you, like on a shoot, everybody had. So what I did, because I love the show Rain, right?
Yeah.
And so I pulled characters and I printed out and I put like what their character was and what they played, and I had each model embody their character throughout the house. Because if you ever been to Wrigley Mansion, it's this huge space, like absolutely huge. And so I had different people in different positions, or I had couples together. Or if you didn't know who the characters of the show was, you would have thought they were the fucking characters. And so,
Wow.
That's awesome.
so the model won for the model print, and then I won. Our group won for the total print challenge, and then we also won for the video challenge. And then that was really solidified us in Phoenix. They was like, okay,
Nice.
I see they working with something here, you know. So that's kind of how I got started.
So that, like, you would say,
Well,
like, your whole vision for that, like,
Yeah.
turned out
Oh,
exactly how you wanted?
it executed like 100%. And I know y'all know, things don't never turn out the way you want them to turn out sometimes.
Yeah.
It's always some BS that knock you off and you got to like kind of rearrange. But with that, when I tell you, I got all of the hair, because it was like 10 models, I think. I reached out to all hair, all makeup, anybody that could assist like on set. I mean, nobody told me no. Everybody was like, "I see your vision. Let's go. I'm down for it. Just give me my damn credit." And I was like, I could definitely do that.
I can work with that.
I can work with
Yeah.
that. And so everybody just, even with that photo shoot, I still think to this day, like how amazing it turned out. Like, I can send you guys some stuff later on if you
I
want
would
to plug
love
it in.
yeah,
and I'll
we
show
would
it
love
you.
to see more of that.
It was amazing. It was literally amazing.
I love it, those moments when you're like, you're creative directing everything, creating
yeah.
this whole production, and when the pieces just keep lining up,
Oh my
falling in
God,
place,
they were
falling in
just
place.
falling in place. It just felt like, and that's when I knew at that point, this is what I need to do. This is what I want to do. I wasn't making clothes then. I was just doing the styling,
Yeah.
but I understand the concept of what I wanted to do. So that's where it turned out like it turned out. And then it wasn't just me. My team was amazing.
Yeah,
There
a
were
lot of faith in you and trust, and everyone just trusted each other.
Like we sat down. I'm like, okay, y'all, this is what I'm thinking. And once I say something, they're saying something, and we all just like, it's like a group effort. You know what I'm saying? It was the
like
oh my
perfect
God,
people.
The
True
perfect
collaboration
people.
right
The
there.
perfect. Like I can call them to this day. Tyra, Mo, Ray, I can call them to this day and say, okay, let's get back and do something. Let's do something. Because now we all broken off and doing our own thing. Like I went into designing, actually making the clothes. Tyra went into actually styling because she was doing hair at the time. And Mo, she has her own salon. Ray, he just graduated from hair school. And he's a makeup artist, and he's like got this big promotion in his job. Like we are doing our own thing, but when we get back together, it's always magical for sure.
That's so cool.
So around what time frame was this? Like what year?
Oh, this was back in 2000. I got down 15, 16. So around, I would say 16 or 17.
16, 17.
16 or 17.
And what was the next big step for you, for your brand?
The next big step was me taking the leap off and just going off of Lamark Cole. That was the next big thing because a lot of times in our group, it was almost like Destiny's Child. Not that we had any beef like that, but I'm in a group. We're Something
Yeah.
Unique Productions, and nobody will always just focus on me, and it kind of made my group members, so you say, feel a little bit weird. And so not that we broke up for that, we just knew that we need to start stepping out on our own, doing our own thing, so we can get the recognition solely for who that person that did this. Because what ended up happening a lot was I ended up overshadowing, and it wasn't intentional. It was just, I have like this other persona that's Lamark Cole, and then I'm regular Lamark, but Lamark Cole is just fabulous, popping up with the looks, like giving you like a vibe like this, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And people would be so drawn to that, and they always played the back, and so we all was just like, it's okay. Let's test the waters out. And so the next big step for me was to create the Lamark Cole brand, because I just wanted to something for myself too.
Yeah.
I just wanted to feel like, you know, I'm putting in all this work and all this effort. I want something that I can say that it is mine. And so that's when I created the Lamark Cole brand. It was back in 2021 when I officially, so I'm Lamark Cole LLC. And my brand is Lamark Cole. I am the brand, men and women clothing.
Yeah. I can tell, like, when you said that, like, you're the one that's kind of showing it. That's like, you're like the marketing of like your own brand. Like,
That's true.
Your whole,
No,
your whole
definitely.
self. You know, 'cause everywhere you go too, you're so like energetic, especially with like the fan and all that too, like whipping it out. Like you have that kind of like persona to you.
And you know what?
Awesome.
I think about, so if you come into a fashion show or you coming to be entertained and you're spending your money to be there, if it was me, I would want to see some type of pizzazz somewhere. I just don't want to sit there and see people walking up, even though the fashions may be incredible. But people will need to feel the energy. They need to feel like when you were making this, what was the energy behind it? And I try to give the energy behind it. A lot of people say, oh, he's extra, or he does too much, and da-da-da. I actually tune that shit out, because that means nothing to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't be here. You guys wouldn't be interviewing me if I wasn't extra or too much. You know what I'm saying? So I like to tune that out. I just stay focused on what I am and what works for me, because I enjoy being loud. I enjoy being extra. I enjoy coming and meet new people, because when I'm in that zone, I meet so many people. I meet so many great creatives who just want to be a part of and be around you. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's how a lot of the other work happened too. The other projects you be a part of, because, you know,
people notice you and they're like, I need to work with that
exactly.
person.
And I heard that a few times.
And I know, like, from a lot of different shows and events I've been to, I always know when you're there. Presence is known, and everyone's just like, Lamark Cole is here, and he's bringing the energy. Like, it's undeniable.
Absolutely. You know, because, you know, especially with the models, you know, they're wearing your stuff or whatever. They're already kind of nervous sometimes. But once they have that other energy, especially coming from the designer, where they like, the designer's over here living, like, he is giving right now. I'm finna give what he give. And so it kind of wakes the people up, and it brings your pieces alive.
It's infectious.
You know,
that energy, for sure.
For sure.
I remember the first time I think I actually experienced that energy was at it was a styling competition at the supercar event. Not Barrett Jackson, but before that, High Street. And I just remember, I don't think you were showcasing any of your work, but you were there attending as a guest. Okay. And every time someone walked down the runway with a great look, I could just hear you with the fan and everybody around you too.
Was that in Scottsdale?
Yeah, in Scottsdale.
It was outside, right?
It was outside.
Okay,
2019, 18 or 19. Yeah,
it was around that time.
That was the first time I experienced the Lamark Cole energy.
You know, also I think about, because I'm very supportive as well. You know, when there's other creators out here, because you know a lot of people, they try to make it like a competition, but it's really not a competition, because everybody have their own point of view and their own concept and their own energy and passion that they put behind the project. And so if I'm just in the audience and I love what you're doing, I'm going to support you. I'm going to be me. I'm not going to sit there and be like, be quiet, but I love what he's doing. I'm like, yes.
That's exactly what happened.
That's the type of thing I'm going to do, because when you hear that from the audience, it does something to you.
Yeah. It kind of pumps up the rest of the
team. My God. Yeah. Oh, my God. I know when I'm out there and I hear all this clapping and yes and Lamark Cole, it brings this incredible energy, and it actually takes you to the next project, because you're living off of that high. And so you're bringing it over here, and so you just continue on. And because a lot of times with creators, we get in our head, we have that voice. Sometimes we have to tell that voice to shut the fuck up. But when that voice is in your head, and you are now listening to that voice, you need something to take you out of that. And so you gotta go back and remember the times that you were on top and you were doing your thing, and go back to that place, because it's there. It's there. You know what I'm saying? So I had to do that sometimes.
So that's how you kind of get out of your creative slump. Is you look back at like how you used to do things. And you're like, I need to get back to that.
Yes, absolutely. And I post everything on Instagram. I post even my old stuff is down there when I was like, oh God, this shit is a hot ass mess. But I keep it there because I sometimes I go back down there and I look and I see like where I came from and where I am now and where I know where I'm going. It's really me holding me back, type situation.
Yeah.
And so I have to keep that stuff there, or I have to rely on that energy from the past to continue on pushing you through. And I'm hoping even with what I'm doing, because I'm in my space, in my head, I'm hoping that it's inspiring somebody else to say, hey, his ass over there doing it, like, I could do this too. Like, it's really not that hard. You just gotta educate yourself on how to do shows, or you gotta definitely network, because if you don't network, like, nobody's gonna really support you because they don't know you.
Yeah.
And you have to be open to opportunities.
Yeah.
Everything is not gonna be
zone.
absolutely. You have to get out your comfort zone, especially in this industry. Introvert is just that doesn't exist here. It doesn't exist
literally.
at all. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like that's one of the biggest struggles for creatives too. Is like we're all normally introverted, so learning how to get out of that.
Oh my God! If you guys would have known me back when I was in Tennessee, you would have been like, "Who the fuck is that guy?"
That's what I was gonna ask too. Is like, have you always been the way you are? Like,
absolutely not. You literally can look at me and I start crying. Like, wow. I was so sensitive. I was so like super quiet. My sister and my brother was the ones who would go outside and play and hang out with people. I would stay in the house.
Yeah.
One, because I moved from Chicago to here, and so I have this real squeaky voice, and I'm skinny as hell, and bullied like a motherfucker. Like, I was like the prime target. I mean, I could be in the back like, just don't look at me. It was almost like a red light going off. Get him. Oh, and so my mom, she was really aggressive too. She was one of those parents where was a no nonsense type of person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it kind of just really pushed me into being just super quiet and just want to just be like in the background and just help type situation. And then one time I was working at this restaurant called Rafferty's, and my principal came in, and she was the host, and she was like, she said, I was going to leave until I seen your face. And I was like, okay, well, I'm glad you're staying. And so we talked or whatever, and I was telling her about, like all of my struggles, about like, I don't know if I'm smart enough. I don't know if I'll be successful. I don't know like what my life would be like. Like, I want to be here in Tennessee, but I feel like I'm bigger than Tennessee. Like, I feel like this is like a box. And she just gave me the best advice. She just told me, like, don't worry about anybody else. You need to just focus on your life and your career. And it was other things that she was telling me. And then from that day on, I woke up. It was like a switch that went off. And when I went to college, it really opens a lot of doors as far as in my self-esteem and how I viewed myself. You
just kind of think like there's a whole new group of people. Nobody
knows me.
Yeah, nobody knows me. Like, I can be myself.
Exactly. And that's exactly what happened. I just met a lot of different people from different cities. You know how college is. Everybody's not from here. It's all over. And so, and they were treating me like how I was never ever treated before. It was just like that confidence. It was just like, oh my God, you're so handsome. And I've never been called handsome. I didn't think I was this. I didn't think I was that. You know what I'm saying? And so I got around these people where they seen the value in me, and I started to see the value in myself. Then after college, it was a whole new person. So like people that I grew up and went to high school with, they like, who the fuck is he? Like this is not the Lamark I know. You know what I'm saying? So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So it took a lot to get to this point, and still I have moments where I'm just like, insecure, but then I have to shake that shit off because especially if I'm putting on a show, if it's my production, I'm going to act like I ain't got nothing going on. It's stuff going on in his head, but you're not going to know it. You know what I'm saying?
You're just saying the good. Like the good side.
I got to stay hard and focused, you know what I'm saying? Because I have all these people that's here to support and working for me and doing these things for me. And if the leader ain't up to par, like, everything kind of just falls apart. You know what I'm saying? And everybody look at you like, what the fuck is he doing here? You know what I'm saying? So
you gotta set that tone and standard, right?
Yes. When I first got here, I was overly confident. I would say that I was getting into it with a lot of people because I was taking it down south and bringing it here. And then I knew real quick that this ain't like that. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be so aggressive all the time. And so then I just slowly, mellowed out. But also was just stern too, because when it's a production and it's your production and you putting all this work into it, you want it to go in a way that you are respected in this industry, because you really can really quick be like, somebody can say, oh, don't go over there, don't do what they do, because that's some bullshit over there. You know what I'm saying? Because I've said it before, like, girl, I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I never wanted anyone to think of me like that. So I try to keep things on point as much as I possibly can.
Okay, that makes sense.
For sure.
So when was it that how many shows have you been a part of now? Like with everything you've done so far?
That's gonna be a good one.
Okay, so it was Makeup and Martinis. I did this event called Bossy and Fab. I Care. The I Care twice.
Oh, I remember that.
I'm bringing I Care back in December. That's what I'm gonna talk about. Yeah. So I Care, Phoenix Fashion Week, Arizona Fashion Week, Garmin League, New York Fashion Week.
Wow, New York.
It was a lot.
Yeah. It's
I can't think of all of them, but I've done several. Yeah.
Which were some of your favorite ones personally? The ones that you really enjoyed what you put on.
I would say so. It was a couple of them.
Yeah.
The first one was Makeup and Martinis, because I didn't think we were going to be as successful as we were on that one, because that was like the very first one. No one knew who the hell we was out here, and it turned out amazing.
Is that like the one that validated what you already kind of knew about yourself? You're like, yep.
Yes, that was like the one, the nail, and I hit the hammer, and I was just hitting it. That was the one that kind of like, okay, I got something. I got a team. And then the other one was, I would say, Phoenix Fashion Week, because because they were pretty much the biggest thing here at that time, So being a part of that was like kind of gave me my stamp for Arizona. And then my last one is the I Care Fashion Show, because that was something that came from the heart of the group.
Yeah.
And so we wanted to do was each person would have a cause, and we started with Tyra. Her cause was foster care, because her parents held the foster care home and brought in children and stuff like that. And so I said, okay, that's the one we'll do. And so I reached out to this organization called Aid to Adopt Special Children. And I sent them a whole email, told them what I'm trying to do. They were 100% on game. They said, I would love this. We would love to be a part of this. Just let us know what could we do. And pretty much that's kind of how it started with that. So those three were my favorites for sure.
Okay. How would you call your style? Like the way you make your clothes, kind of like what goes through your thought process, or kind of how would you describe your clothing?
I would say initially I think about, okay, I want to be a bad bitch. That's the first thing.
Yeah. You gotta stand out.
Always,
Look at me.
Look at me. That's the first thing. And then also I would say, and it was a girl who wrote me on Instagram. And I said I would always say this. This would be like my lineup. And she said, elegant, not too intimidating, but bold. And so that kind of stuck with me. Elegant, not too intimidating, but bold. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of what it is what I would call like my style. And I just want to have a piece or walk in, especially if it's an event or something that, that I want to meet and network with people. I want to walk in with a look on. So before I even open my mouth, if you don't know me, you want to get to know me type situation. And it's, a lot of times it kind of gets a little weird. Sometimes you don't know somebody and you're trying to have a conversation with them and you don't know really what to say because you don't really know them. But if you got on a bomb ass outfit, you know what I'm saying, you can at least start there. You know what I'm saying? And it can like bring down those walls. And so I always think about like that type of situation. Then if it's something where I don't need to dress up, I'm still gonna look fabulous, but it's gonna be like toned down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So yeah, that's what I would say. I would say that.
Thanks for watching this episode, brought to you by Martini Mates.
No shaker, no problem. Grab Martini Mates ready-to-drink cocktails.
Veteran owned and found in all Total Wine and more, and in Trevor's Liquor locations.
Cheers, mate. Now back to the podcast.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, because like I think one of my favorite ones that I think I've seen of yours is the Arizona Fashion Week at the Barrett Jackson. You made like the the chrome looks.
Oh yeah.
All of
I
those
remember
look
that,
so
yeah.
cool.
Yes.
Like, how did that idea
Oh
spring
my
up?
God. So it was the Beyonce era with the Renaissance.
Oh, it is
Okay,
gonna be
yeah.
It was the
story.
Renaissance. You know, everything was like that chrome, silver, sparkly vibe.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I wanted to do is create different looks and different personalities as if it was me, you know, or if if it was someone going to a concert or just doing pulling some inspiration from the Beyonce vibes, you know.
Yeah, okay.
So what I did was I didn't sketch. I don't sketch. Everything like just comes from my mind. And I just sit back and I dream. I'm a really big dreamer, and so when I look at I pick up my models, and once I see my models and I see their vibe, I kind of go off of their vibe too. Because if they can't rock the look and hold down the look, then it just don't work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I pick my models out. And then I would go on Pinterest as well. I would pull inspiration from there. And then Beyonce era was the real thing for me where I pulled that. And so I would sit and I was like, okay, this is going to be the filler. This is going to be the main attraction. This is going to be the main attraction. This is going to be the closer. This is going to be the one that helps the one before this one. Like I'm thinking about the whole lineup, like how it will work as a audience member, you know, because when one look go down, I wanted to be like, oh damn! But then when another look at that, like, oh shit!
Yeah,
and
like
another
who's gonna
look at
follow up?
Keep
yes,
going,
yeah, and then it
Yeah.
slow down a little bit, and they like, okay, well, I see where he going with this. He just, you know, this is for somebody that's on some chill, and then it picks back up, and then the closer, boom, closes it with it, you know. That's kind of how I think about a lot of my stuff, you know. And I think about it being just fabulous. I think about it being something that you have not seen before, because I think fashion is supposed to be something to spark interest, spark inspiration, spark like that vibe to go out and do something different. So I try to do things that I know no one has done. And then I look at my competition too and I be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna eat your ass up.
Right.
Like, I totally got this. You guys don't stand a chance. I love that energy.
I'm very competitive. I'm very competitive in a good way. I
Yeah.
use it as motivation. Like if you give me something, you give me a task and I'm working against somebody, I'm going to try to kill it. I'm going to try to kill them in it.
good.
But I'm also going to hug you at the end and be like, I love you so much. I'm so glad we did this together, because I still feel that way too, you know, but in the mix of it, I'm thinking about, I want to execute this shit. I want to take this to another level, you know, to some shit they ain't never seen before. That's what my mind says always.
Yeah,
I can say this, like in different shows and things I've been part of, when people know that you're part of it too, they're like, "Oh snap!
Yeah.
I got to bring my A game. All right, let's take it to the next level. I can't just kind of cruise on this one."
No. Every time, you know, I hear that a lot. A lot of the models come back and tell me like, you know, so and so said, you know, and I'm like, well, yeah, you know, because I feel like Arizona is small. You know what I'm saying? We don't really get to see that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like New York and LA.
Yeah.
And if I can be even a little bit close to that, I'm going to try my damn hardest to do it.
Yeah.
If I don't know how to make it, I'm going to figure out how to make it. And a lot of times, y'all, I have fucked up the outfit and it's turned into something great.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't know it unless I said, that's the outfit I fucked up.
Yeah, that was really one of the things we were gonna ask you.
Yeah.
Like, how do you kind of like go back
Recover
from
from
it? Yeah.
So I look at it. So I have like 3 mannequins at home. I have like 2 guys, well 4, 2 guys, 2 girls. And sometimes what I would do is like drape it on the mannequin, and I see what it's like falling like or whatever. And I really let the fabric sometimes just speak to me and say like, okay, this is what we're gonna do with this, and this is what we're gonna do with that. Like that dress Haley had on with this fabric.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Yeah.
That was a prime example of one of them that I just threw around the mannequin, and I seen how I had that split going down the front, and then it was like this big volume around the back. And then I had went to Michael's, and I was just walking around Michael's. Sometimes I just walk around the stores and see what speaks to
what
me.
you
And
can
I
work
seen these
with.
like beautiful flowers. And I was like, oh my God, I could put these on the side. And then I had went to LA art fashion district.
Okay, yeah.
And I bought a lot of other stuff just for the fashion show. And it was just small things. And then once I got home, I just kind of let it lay out. I put everything out, like colors. This color go with this color, this color, you know. And then I would look and say, okay, I'm going to put this with this. I'm going to put this with that. And then I come up with, like, the concept with the mannequin.
Yeah.
And then, you know, sometimes I pull inspiration, like I said, from Pinterest or other designers that inspire me. You know, I'll pull inspiration there. But then a lot of stuff, it just happens, like, really organic, really, really organic. And I don't use... You know how, because I'm not professionally trained to sew. So, and I think that's actually a good thing because that kind of confines you into like the rules of sewing. So I'm in a place where I don't have that. I'm not confined at all. Like I'm doing it the wrong way sometimes, but it's coming out fabulous.
It's coming out your way.
You're gonna
It's
make
coming
it work
out my
your
way.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I enjoy just throwing it up there and just seeing what they're gonna do, you know, and then my mind's like, oh, well, let's do this, or let's do that. Like even these shoulders, like these wasn't even supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
I just cut a circle and I had ended up sewing them on there, and I was like, oh my god, look how this sit like, you know, it's giving the vibe, you know. And so then I was like, I'm gonna do the other shoulder. And it was just stuff like that. That's kind of how it happens. It's like really organic.
Yeah. So with Haley's look, that was year 1 of Arizona Fashion Week at Chateau.
That was.
That was definitely one of my favorite looks from that night.
And she worked that dress.
Oh, yeah.
When I tell you she
with
worked that dress, I had so many people reaching out to me because they knew that I was going to charge their ass a lot for that dress. And so they were even asking, could they rent it? And that's not a dress that you rent. That's a dress that you buy, you keep, and you wear maybe one time and you done with it. You know, because if you make any stain, if the ground touches it, it's gonna be dirt and it's not gonna be like you can't wash that like that. You know what I'm saying? That's one of those dresses. It's like a one time bad bitch moment.
Yeah.
Like it's like for the Met Gala or like don't wear it at all.
Yeah, don't wear it at all. Like it's one of those moments, you know. And I had a lot of people reach out to me for that dress, you know. But I also think about my worth too. You know, I'm not gonna just do something for some quick cash when I know long term that it'll pay off. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's just a situation, it has you in my mind. Excuse me. It has me in your mind. You know what I'm saying? It has me in your mind like, oh my God, where I can't buy that one, but next time, or my daughter prom or something like that, I'm going to reach out to him to create a dress for me. I might not can get that one from him, but I know I can get something that's similar or something that I can afford.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
That works
awesome.
too. Yeah.
I do remember Haley walking down, and she just channeled that energy, like the way she was moving everything.
Every time.
She owned it.
Every time.
She knew your brand.
Every time. And I think
it.
she was a little mad because the second time that I had did Arizona Fashion Week, I didn't pick her. I know she was a little salty. I could tell she was a little salty about it, but I was wanting to give other opportunities to other models because I'm not the one who just wants to work with a certain model. Like, I want to have fun with everybody. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. We're not getting paid for this shit like that. You know what I'm saying? There's really not that much benefit, you know what I'm saying, unless it's like, you know, you got buyers and stuff like that out there in the audience. And a lot of times that's not happening. It's literally for entertainment. And so if we're looking at it in an entertainment perspective, then I want to work with other people too. I want to be able to reach out and showcase my work and let them be a part of it. Because I have a lot of them always hitting me up saying, please pick me. Please pick me. Please pick me. You know, and I'm not the one to be like, girl, no, I got one. I got somebody who already did great. Hayley did an amazing job in that dress, and that's why I told her, I gave her a big hug. I was like, you did nothing. I'm just wanting to work with other people and give them other opportunities to be a part of the Lamark Cole experience. You know what I'm saying? So she took it well. She gave me a hug back and all that, but I can still tell she was just like, shut the hell up.
Yeah. Like, I just want to walk for you again.
I just want to walk. I just want to be the main bitch. Well, she was amazing though. She did a great job for sure. Like,
and then the look you had for Ava too that night was also phenomenal.
Oh, you know the story about that?
Ooh,
so that look was actually supposed to be for a maternity shoot.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and so a girl hit me up and she said, "Hey, I love your work. I've been following you for years. I want you to create my maternity look." And I was like, "Absolutely, I would love to do that." And so I told her that I said I'm very extra, so just so you know, it's gonna be an extra look. It's not gonna be nothing just you can get from Walmart or Amazon. It's just not gonna do that. And so she came over and tried it on. She absolutely loved it, right? And so she sent pictures to the photographer. The photographer was like, "You can't see your belly. It's too big. It's too like fabulous. It's going to take away from the maternity shoot. It's going to be pretty much a product shoot at this point, you know." So I end up making her something Amazon, Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then I was like, because I was in crunch time too with that show. I was running here, running there, and doing a 9 to 5, and that never works out, you know. So I was like, oh my God, I'm going to put this in the show. Like, I don't know, like, what it's going to give, But Ava came over to do a fitting in my house, and I was like, "Oh my fucking God, this was like meant for you.
Yeah,
this was meant for you. Like her body, her style, and her energy and vibe, it fit it perfectly." And she walked.
Yeah.
Because it was a big piece. And the piece, it kept on sticking to every goddamn thing. But she, like, you would never know that it was just, like, a difficult piece to walk in, even though it was, like, soft and big or whatever. But she really bodied that piece. And I go back and look at the pictures, and I'm just like, your pictures that you, the last time I was talking to
that.
yeah, the black and white, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I hated the black and white, but there was one black and white picture that I absolutely freaking love. Because that concept for that show was I wanted to show like variety.
Yeah.
It really wasn't a set theme. It was just a variety. I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that. Because I want you to just know my mind is going like 1,000,000 miles per hour, and it's not set one way. And so I just did a bunch of things in that showcase, and that was one of my favorite ones when you had took that picture. Especially, I think she was looking back too. You got a great one in the front, and then you got one where she looked back, and I was like,
that's it.
Jesus Christ. Yes, you know how you at home yelling when you see something that's perfect. I'm like jumping up and down, and I'm like calling Jeff, like, Jeff, you fucking killed it. I fucking love this. Oh my God, you're so fucking amazing.
It's always my favorite moments to capture. It's like it's not your typical runway stuff or fashion photography, but you just capture that specific moment. That's
so
like
good.
that
So
embodies
breathtaking.
everything. The model, the designer work, just the vision.
Yes, when I create my little showcase book, that's definitely going to be one of those in there because it's so fab. It was so fabulous. Like, I couldn't ask for anything better for sure.
So how do you like have the models come out? Like you were saying that you want to have like one showcase and the next one to be even better. Like how do you position your models when they walk out to make your?
So when I do my casting, I'm already doing it in my head. So when Arizona Fashion Week is having a casting, and they give me they send the models out for me to first they get like they give like a bunch of headshots, and I look in the headshots too to see if they're serving face, because that's the first thing. Like if you're serving face, I can help you with a walk. I can do all that with you. But if you ain't showing that confidence through at least the initial photo, then there's nothing I really can do with it. There's going to be some things you're going to have to just grow and get better on, right? Okay. And so once I get through the headshots, I do the casting with whatever show or my show, and I see who's walking the best, who has the most confidence, because I'm a very confident person. Even when I'm at my lowest and I'm not confident, I'm a very confident person. And if you're going to walk for me, you have to represent me in that type of matter, because if you're not confident, then what the hell are we doing this for? You know what I'm saying? We're doing this to inspire and motivate. You know what I'm saying? And so I look at that, and then I always try to have guy and girls, because clearly I'm a guy and I make clothes for myself, and so I want guys to also feel a part of this experience as well.
And you're really underrepresented in the industry and in Arizona.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. So if you see, I never always pick girls. I pick guys and girls in any showcase that I do. And so I'm looking at them, who's the most confident with the guys and who's the most confident with the girls. And then once I pick my lineup, once I pick the models who's going to model for me, then they come to my house and they put the garment on, and I have them do another walk with the garment, and then that's when I'm lining them up. They don't know until the day of the show where they're going to be placed at, but I'm mentally lining them up in my head once they do that final walk with me with the garment on.
Okay.
Because I definitely notice, and you've touched on this a few times too, where almost every show that you're doing, you're almost still creating the show to the moment of when the models finally walk out there.
Absolutely.
Like you'll be backstage working on stuff.
Absolutely. Yes. I am definitely one of those people like, oh my God, when you see like Project Runway and they back there sewing the clothes onto the model, that has happened several times. Several times, because you think that you have like this perfect size, and I'm like, oh my fucking God, they can't fit the pants. So then I'm like cutting something that I got on to add some extra fabric into like the side of the parking. Like I'll send you pictures of it. Yeah. You can see it in the photo, but you wouldn't know unless I told you. You probably thought it was a parking. But it's a guy. He had the gold and orange look on at the last show I did with Arizona Fashion Week, and he had a butt. I thought I had got the butt in the measurements, but I didn't get the butt clearly, or I didn't cut. Because a lot of times when you cut in fabric, you have to cut it in a way where you cut it where it's stretchy. You know what I'm saying? It's like certain ways you cut the fabric. Excuse me, you cut your pattern piece on. I think that day I was rushing and I did not cut it where it was supposed to stretch. And so when he put it on, it was like,
Oh.
I'm like, get it, now get it.
Who's the model with the booty? Who's
He was the guy. He's the black guy with the braids. I forgot his name. Don't kill me. I'll send you pictures.
Yeah, well,
you know when I send you, you come like, oh yeah,
Yep.
he was in the Okay, you remember we did the art thing? We did the we went out to our art gallery and you shot
the Sarth.
he had the afro.
Mason.
That's
Mas.
it.
Yeah.
That's it. That was him right there. So he was an amazing model with the booty. And so
everyone knows.
Yeah,
Everyone knows.
he was so cool about it. He was just like, no, it's fine. I'm gonna be right here, you know. And so I didn't bring my sewing machine because I was so confident that I had everything perfect. And so, but I did bring my little bag with the little needle and thread and stuff like that. So I'm literally cutting my outfit that I have on. It wasn't my main outfit. It's the outfit I showed up in.
Yeah.
And so I'm cutting my outfit that I have on to get some fabric to put this like extra piece in, like this shape like this, to widen the hips and widen the hips and widen the waist.
Yeah.
Just think of the waist right here and the hips right here. And so I'm sewing it in like with a needle. And then the show was finna get ready to start, and I find out that I'm opening because a lot of times I didn't know when I was talking to Arizona Fashion Week, they're like, oh, because I asked them at the event, and I was like, where my place? He's like, oh, we had you in second. And I'm like, I don't do second. I'm sorry, I don't do second. I either open or close, you know, and we're gonna have some issues if that don't happen, you know.
Right.
And so they end up having me open because I think one of the LA designers was doing the closing because he had all those models and stuff like that. So I totally understood that. But I'm Arizona. I'm representing Arizona, okay?
Yeah.
So you need to have your boy where you want it to be. So I'm thinking, so I saying, oh, Lamark, you're opening. And I'm like, oh, shit. And I'm just like sewing. And I finally get it on him perfect and send him out the way. He's like the fourth one down. So, yeah, it happens a lot. It happens a lot, especially when you're doing the design. And I don't think I actually got a chance to do a final fitting with him either. He was one of the looks that I didn't know what I was gonna do, and I was like, okay, I know I want to have something big around him. I know I want him to be like gold and glowing. I know I want to do like a vibe like that. And the fabric that I had chose, it was like this dope, like gold, metallic, orange, burnt orange, brown. It looked so good on his skin tone. When I see your pictures, you'll see him, and you're like, okay, I know what he's talking about now. But yeah, that's kind of how that happened.
Dang. So being a part of so many shows, what do you feel like is different with working with each show? Like, how do you feel like the structures are different? Or
you learn a lot from different shows. You know what I'm saying? I think I've learned the most from the New York show.
Okay.
Here show, it's kind of, I would say you get experience here because it's kind of everybody's doing the same thing. Nobody's really stepping outside of the box with it. You know, I was the first one to hit up luxury apartment complexes to do shows. Did not see that being a trend. Yeah. I was the one who started, if it wasn't enough designers, I was putting stylists in position to showcase as if they were a designer, but they're showing their styling looks. Now I see that happening. It's no one's really stepping out of the box with the stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I give it to Arizona Fashion Week by doing like the 2 week experience thing like that, because I say that is out of the box. Having a space for you to showcase your products and promote yourself on like your own night, that's out of the box. Yeah. I like that concept.
What they call it? Brand party. Yeah.
The branding party. That I love that type of concept. Phoenix Fashion Week, I think the reason why they didn't really elevate is because they're stuck on old things that they've done in the past, and it's worked. But now you have people like me, Arizona Fashion Week, and we are involved, and we're moving with the times. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And you can't just keep on having body up and down the runway, same designers. You know what I'm saying? I don't mean to be shady, but sounding like Mr. Dry-Eyed, like it's just not going to work no more. You know what I'm saying? You can't have it at the same place. It needs to be an experience. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I'm so glad you touched on that. Because
absolutely.
I feel like that is the direction that fashion is going to, especially with fashion shows, fashion weeks. It's like people don't just want a generic show. They don't want to see stuff going down runway. I think there's a time and place for that, but people want an experience.
Absolutely.
Make it something unique.
Yes. Now these days, it's all about the experience. It's all all about what are you going to bring that I ain't already done already.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? If that's the case, then those tickets need to be like $10, and and you need to be paying people to be a part of this, because no one's doing this just for the clout. Originally, you start off just doing it for the clout and gaining your notoriety out here, but after you get that, you can't give me the same marketing scheme of, okay, I want you to be a part of this because this is going to happen. Well, we did that already. We did that already.
Yeah.
We did that too already. Like, I can do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it turned into. I was like, okay, I'm not doing the same shit no more. I'm going to do my own thing now at this point. You know what I'm saying? Because if you can do this and continue to be successful off this, I can do this and bring a little bit more extra to this, then I know I'm going to kill it. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about change for sure with the fashion industry out here.
Okay. So how did it, like, being at New York Fashion Week, how did that kind of change your whole perspective?
Oh my
that?
God. So it's got to keep this a keep it real moment right here, y'all.
we love that.
Let's hear it.
So I had I got into it with Arizona Fashion Week. And we were at a disagreement on some things, and I pretty much say no longer want to be a part of it. Wish you the best. Say the same thing to me. But I'm one of those people where if you value me, there'll be a little bit more effort. There'll be a little bit more, okay, it won't be, arrivederci. It won't be that. It'll be, well, no, let's sit down and talk and see what a problem is, and let's work this out. And when I know I'm right and you don't do that, that tells me that you don't value me.
You don't respect or value.
You don't respect or value me. And I'm okay with that, because if you don't do it now, you'll do it soon. You'll do it later. You'll do it in the future. Yeah. It's going to happen. It may not be right now, but it's going to happen, right? And so once we had made that decision to no longer work together, it motivated me like super, super crazy. Like I was up to like 4 o'clock in the morning sending my work to everywhere. And I woke up the next morning to my DMs being flooded with replies back.
There you
and
go.
They were like, oh my God, where the fuck you been?
And
I was
waiting
like,
for you.
oh, man. And I'm like, they're like, yes, like we would love to, like, a lot of shows that I really, really wanted to do, they cost a lot of money.
Yeah.
Couldn't do them. Because this is my first time hopping off on faith with this stuff. You know what I'm saying? I remember it was a show for $8,000, but it was like, the best show out there in New York. And it was this other show that hit me up. They just got started. They haven't even been out there in New York. Like they're mainly known for Swim Week in Miami.
Okay.
And so they hit me up, and I told them no initially, because I was like, oh, y'all just started. I need to be somebody who kind of got a little bit more footing and stuff, you know. And so Runway 21 hit me up. They was like, hey, we love your work. Unfortunately, you can't do this show because we have all our designers for this one, but if you want, we'll give you 2 tickets. You and the guests come, view the show. The next time we do the show, which is in September, we would love to have you to be a part of it. So I was like, I asked my boyfriend, I was like, is this you want to do this? You know, I think this is something we really should do. You know, I think it's something we really should do. And so he's like, yeah, let's go for it. Like, and he, you know, Ray, he's a big supporter. He likes
always there supporting.
Always, you
Every
know,
time.
Every time. And so once we agreed to go to that show, then when I ended up circling back with the other people, I'm like, well, I'm going to be there anyway. Their show was after the show that I'm supposed to be going to just to go check out. I'll do the show. And so they like, oh, absolutely. We're so happy to have you. Thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of this. I know it was kind of last minute, but, you know, I've seen some of your stuff. So if you don't want to create, you know, a bunch of pieces all over again, just bring some stuff that you already have. You know, no one's seen it out here. Yeah. And I said, okay, well, that's exactly what I'll do. But, you know, that ain't how that worked out, by the way. So I packed my bag, and I'm putting all these pieces, and I'm thinking all stick model sizes, because I'm thinking New York. I've never been to New York. This is my first time in New York. So I'm thinking all stick model sizes. So I'm packing all these, like, little clothes and shit that I designed. And so I get there, they do a whole, like, a little tour and showing where we're going to be at, you know, a whole night. It really felt like a, how do you say it, like Runway, Project Runway, because it was just like a real life. Everything was real life. Everything was big cameras. Everything was like this crazy big production. Like, and you have, okay, let me stay on topic. Okay. So so I get there to do the tour and everything. And so the day of the I do the fitting and all that kind of stuff. Great models. When I tell you, I drove up, I thought it was going, because I'm like, this is a new show. This is nobody really knows the show.
Yeah.
when I get there, I'm driving up, and it's models all around the building, down the street. It was over 2,000 models out there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I was like, okay, this is a big show.
Yeah.
Let me chill the fuck out.
Right.
Let me treat this like I would treat, if it was as if it was mine,
Yeah.
And so I get in there and I'm walking. It's so funny. It looked literally like off TV. It's like a bunch of stairs you walk up to, and it's like this room with like I'm on a casting table, and it's all these other designers, and everybody is so welcoming. Everybody is like, okay, let me see your work, and they're like, oh my God, I love your work. Let me see your work. Oh my God, I love your. It was like that type of energy. The models, they all came to work. They all came to work. So the whole time,
next level.
I think I was there from 8 to 6 p.m. watching any and every model come in. They were doing like 5 models at a time. So it was kind of moving fast, but it really wasn't moving fast because I ain't had no lunch or nothing. I'm finna roll with them. How they doing it, I'm finna do it. I ain't finna get up and leave, go get nothing to eat. I'm finna to roll how they roll. And so all the models come in, they do their thing. I pick my models out. But then I knew I wanted to give somebody else a chance. So I ran downstairs. I walked down the line, and the people's looking at me like, why the hell is he looking at me? And so I'm like walking down the line, just looking at everybody, and I like pointed at this dude, and I was like, come here. Just like off of a movie, you know? And I didn't think about it until I picked him, and then everybody like this, who me? And so I tell him to come here, and like 4 more people follow behind him, but I wasn't going to stop them because it could have been their opportunity to work with somebody else, but I knew I wanted to work with him.
Yeah.
And so he came, he did a fabulous job. I don't know if the other models got picked, but just the whole show production itself and just how they did everything. Shout out to Indie Show. Shout out to Fusion Fashion Week. You guys are amazing. But it was a great process. You know what I'm saying? It really gave me that confidence that I know that I can be a part of a production like that. I can go up against other designers and stand out. Yeah. I was thinking they were going to wash me, but I was like, for that. I was excited about that.
That's awesome.
And I would say Arizona Fashion Week gave me. They didn't know it. I didn't know they were going to be there. I think me and you ended up talking about it.
Yeah.
That, they were going to be there, but I didn't know they were going to be there when I started reaching out to people. That's later on when I started posting I'm going to be out there in New York. But they were my motivation at the time. Like, I tried to take something that's negative. I felt as though it was negative, and I made it positive for me to really push myself to go outside of my boundaries. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get comfortable really freaking quick down here. You know what I'm saying? And then especially if things are going your way, you can get really comfortable. And when things aren't going your way, you don't fight, you don't cuss, you don't do all that. You actually just turn it up and show them what you can do. And I use it as motivation. Since then, I have spoken to Arizona Fashion Week. We have worked out our differences, and we are on a great pace, just to put it out there.
Okay.
But, it would have been great for us to do that together. I think that would have been really good because they came from Arizona. I'm coming from, it was just me and Ray coming from Arizona, and they had their whole team come from Arizona. Were we terrified? Hell yes. But we held it down like we didn't have no care in the world, like there was no issues in the world. It was such an experience because New York Fashion Week, I can tell you, it was very good to us. They made us feel like as though we was at home.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that.
It was good.
Yeah.
It was a good experience for sure.
I love hearing your ability to just kind of take a negative experience and just flip it and make it work for you.
Absolutely. I've been doing that a lot with my life, even with outside of fashion. I've done that a lot with my life where things that has happened to me and I have to look at it and say, okay, well, this happens for me to be able to have that strength to go on or to have the energy to be able to prepare myself for other situations. And that's how I end up looking at it. You know what I'm saying? Because once you build that toughness, that resilience, no one can really knock you down. It really can only be you that can really knock you down. So I take those situations and I use them as my motivation for sure.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
Let's switch gears real quick.
All right.
Probably one final question, because we're kind of reaching the mark now. Right?
We are.
So what would you say is a moment that you will always remember, like a very positive, just memorable, just the iconic moment for you? Whether it's with Fashion Weeks or your own productions.
I would say the moment when we did Arizona Fashion Week, and it was at the mansion, and I had did the whole set with the Beyonce and the dancers, and we had this whole dope ass choreography. It just felt magical, like to see it from, cause me doing it and hearing everybody scream and stuff like that. I was always feeling it, But later on, when I seen the videos come back and everybody sending me everything,
Yeah.
it was really magical. That one, and also when I did Arizona Trending, because I used to do that show too.
Yeah.
And that first one was, I think that's also was one of the ones that really put me on the map too with my community,
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was screams all throughout the building. They loved every piece of what I did. And when I came out, it was just like this amazing energy. And it kind of felt like, damn, like, you know what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Just like stay focused with it. There's going to be times when it's going to be hard. You're going to feel a little different sometimes, but just stay focused.
Just stay focused.
That's great. Yeah, that's great advice just for everybody watching.
Absolutely.
Dang. Yeah, so kind of what do you have going on just now? Do you want to tell everybody what you're up to?
Absolutely. I want to tell you guys what I'm up to. So, my mom just passed away. And before she passed away from stage 4 cancer. I can smile and laugh about it now because there was a lot of closure within that. It wasn't like boom, bam, she gone. It was, we talked about a whole lot of stuff, And so before she left, we were going to do these pillows, these cancer pillows, because she loved her comfy pillow, but she would always lose her phone. So we came up with this concept that we were going to do these pillows, and they're going to be like this pocket on the pillow where you can plug it, the charger in, and also have your phone there. So you wake up, you're not like, where's my phone at?
Yeah, right.
So that's something I'm going to. She picked out all the prints and all the fabrics, so I'm excited to get started on that. I'm working on with the profits from the pillows. I'm going to open a nonprofit, and it's going to be called Diane's Touch, and it's going to be able to, is what it's going to be created for, to support families when dealing with cancer, and just that whole process when it's getting down to the wire, when you're like talking about like what goes with who, or arrangements and all that good jazz, and making sure we have that closure, because it's going to happen, but we also need to do a few things before then to make sure we have, because if anybody had left, if my mom would have left and I was here and I didn't get that closure, I would probably not even be here right now.
Yeah.
But I was down there for 2 months with her before she passed, and so we talked about a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that's something that I want to work on for her, to keep her memory alive in my mind and in my industry and my work, you know what I'm saying? And so then I'm trying to tie everything together. So it's the pillows that's going to support the nonprofit. The nonprofit the tickets from my eye care show, it's going to be to support the nonprofit as well. So that's the thing. I'm thinking about bringing that back in December. Her birthday is December 16th. I kind of got all of that stuff already like together. I just now need to just execute. So look out for the cancer pillows. It's going to be called Diane's Touch, the nonprofit Diane's Touch, and eye care to support Diane's Touch nonprofit.
Awesome to hear.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like we have so much to talk about.
Yeah,
with you.
yeah.
Like,
This is not
I
enough
want to
time.
keep it going, but yeah, we got
so much. Yeah, we're for sure gonna have you on like another updated episode,
Absolutely.
kind of maybe next year.
I would love to.
Yeah, definitely.
I would love to. Thank you
Yeah,
guys for
lots to talk
having me.
about.
I did do my little research on y'all to see what y'all had going on. So I was like, oh yeah, this is the perfect atmosphere. And I absolutely love
appreciate
Jeff.
that.
Jeff
Yeah,
has been amazing. This is my
same.
first
Jeff
time meeting
Martin.
you. We probably met before, but it was probably like high and by type situation.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I've been at quite a bit of the Arizona Fashion Week shows,
Okay.
so I know I've seen you for sure
Yeah.
a
Okay.
couple of times, but it's for sure been like small communications.
Cool,
but-
cool.
Yeah.
Well, we're
No.
official now.
now it's
Right, for
official.
sure. Now we have a podcast.
Have a podcast.
Well, yeah, thank you so much for
Yeah.
being on. Yeah, it was
Absolutely.
great to
Thank
learn
you
about
guys.
just
I
your whole
appreciate
story.
y'all. Absolutely.
Love having you here, and yeah, we go actually way back.
Yeah.
But it's always been good. You
Yes,
know? And
absolutely. I
really
agree.
appreciate you for being here.
Thank you so much,
Right?
Jeff. Thanks for
So,
having me.
yeah, of course.
Wrap it up.
Yep, definitely stay tuned. Be on the lookout for everything Lamark is doing. I feel like you have a definitely very personal touch in terms of everything you're moving forward with right now.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, and
yes.
excited for that for you.
Yeah, I gotta take
But,
that
yeah.
energy and put it somewhere for sure.
We'll have
Alright.
all his links in the description below, so go check out all of his work.
Yes, definitely.
Thank
All
you,
right.
guys.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys in the next episode.
Next episode.